Well, hello everyone. Fasten your seatbelts because today we're going to take a tour of an outdoor farmers market in Germany. European outdoor markets date back to the Middle Ages when every city had a meeting place right in the center of town. Why was this? Well, back then there were no cars or trucks, so most people had to walk everywhere and carry their purchases with them. As a result, their cities and towns were built very compactly, and everything was clustered around this town center. Here's a view of the city market that we're going to visit today. The town is Hanau, Germany, which is located about 20 miles to the east of Frankfurt, right in the middle of Germany. In this photo, you can see the market set up right in the town center. Besides having to walk to all the shops, citizens in those days had little or no refrigeration in their homes, so they had to shop at least twice a week for fresh meat, produce, and other food items. The building that you see at the rear of the market is the City Hall. It's called Rathaus. This has nothing to do with rats, but the word Rat in German means meeting. So this is the town meeting house, where the mayor holds meetings with his town's officials. You should also note that these photos were all taken during non-pandemic times, so no one is practicing social distancing or wearing a mask. In this next slide, we learn another interesting fact about the town of Hanau. It is the birthplace of the Brothers Grimm of fairy tale fame. You know the stories: Hansel and Gretel, the Pied Piper, Snow White. There's a statue of the two brothers right in front of the city hall for everyone to see, or even to sit on, as this chap is doing. A local legend has it that at midnight on New Year's Eve, the two brothers change places. Now, no one has ever witnessed this exchange, but the legend continues to be passed down from parents to their children year after year. In this next view, we can see the full expanse of the market. There are about 100 vendors who set up their stalls every Wednesday and Saturday. At the end of each market day, the vendors tear down their stalls and move on to another town. These vendors are mostly local farmers. This seems like a lot of work, but the custom has been going on for centuries, and it is now ingrained in the culture of most European countries. Here's a view of a vegetable stand set up by a local farmer. Just look at the wonderful variety of beautiful fresh vegetables and fruit which he has on display at his stand. These vendors sell a wide variety of fresh vegetables picked daily on their farms. They have been selling to the inhabitants of this town for decades. As a result, they know what the people cook and what vegetables they use. In this photo, you can see some fresh vegetables already bunched for a soup or a roast. This saves the shoppers a lot of time and brings them back time and again to these same vendors. Take a look at these beautiful tomatoes, mushrooms, and peppers. And here on display are some very basic ingredients: potatoes. Germans eat a lot of potatoes, and these vendors provide several varieties based on the customs of the people in this particular town. Just look at these beautiful strawberries. And here are some very colorful radishes. The Germans love radishes and eat them in many ways, accompanying their foods. Here's a photo of a woman making a purchase at a butcher wagon. Perishable foods, such as meat and cheese, are sold from wagons which have refrigeration, driven by generators. The awning above the woman's head says that this butcher sells Hackfleisch, which is the German word for ground beef. In this photo, at another stand, the woman is buying Wurst, or sausage. The Germans eat a lot of sausage. Once again, this is a custom that has evolved from the Middle Ages when people did not have refrigerators or freezers. Sausages are usually smoked and then air dried, which preserves the meat and allows the people to store them without cooling. They are often served with sauerkraut, which is also a preserved form of cabbage. Here at another butcher stand, the woman appears to be purchasing a pork roast or something similar. Germans eat a lot of pork products, mainly because the local farmers all raise pigs, which need much less land than beef cattle. Pork is often used to make schnitzel, one of the favorite German dishes. And look at this. No surprise here. This stand is selling delicious-looking, locally produced ham and bacon, 2 more pork products. As I said before, there's a wide variety of products available to the shoppers. The man in this photo is purchasing cheese. This vendor sells cheese from all over Europe and is ready to advise the buyer about the type of cheese to accompany almost any meat or fish dinner. At the next food stand, we see a variety of honey, jams, jellies, pickles, and similar items. These are preserves. The Germans are experts at making jams and jellies, which is another way of preserving food without refrigeration. Next, we move on to my favorite vendor, the baker. The Germans are famous for their breads and rolls. At the market, you can buy a variety of Brochen, which is what the Germans call rolls. These rolls are baked fresh every day. The Germans pride themselves on having fresh rolls for breakfast every morning. But rolls are not their only favorite. In this photo, you see a sample of the many breads that the German bakers are famous for. Bread stays fresh longer than rolls. A typical household would have a combination of both bread and rolls. Notice that the bread is not sliced, because the bread stays fresh longer if it is not sliced. Okay, if you arrived at the market around 10 a.m., you're probably tired of shopping by now, and you're in need of food and drink. Well, you're in luck, because the market abounds with vendors who are ready and willing to satisfy your hunger and your thirst. This is also a central place where you can meet up with your friends and your neighbors for what the Germans call an Imbiss, or a snack. Now here, at my favorite food stand, this young woman is preparing the most famous German snack food, bratwurst, or brats as they are known to Americans. These are pork sausages. This woman is grinning because she's embarrassed that I'm taking her photo. Here's another view of the bratwurst on the grill. I like the spicy red ones called Rindswurst, which are made from beef. In this next photo, we see a traditional Bratwurst mit Brötchen, a brat on a bun to Americans. And here's an even more traditional offering, Bratwurst mit Brötchen und Pommes, a brat on a bun with fries. Children are often frequent participants in market day. Like their parents, the market is an opportunity for them to meet with their friends who may live in different parts of the city, and also to enjoy some treats that are not normally available to them at home or at school. These children are enjoying a brat on a bun with fries. And notice the pint-sized table provided by this child-friendly vendor. At the end of the shopping day, customers move away from the food offerings to purchase small housewares or flowers. Remember that you have to carry everything for 5 to 10 city blocks to your home, so they buy the heavy things last. This vendor at the exit of the market is selling a variety of baskets, which can be used for carrying goods home. Now that's very convenient. When he has no customers, the vendor uses his idle time to weave the seat of a chair, or perhaps to make a special custom item that a shopper has requested. Europeans in general are crazy about flowers because they bring color, life, and a connection with nature into their small apartments. Virtually every town market has a large selection of cut flowers to be sold. These flowers come from all over Europe. They are inexpensive and formed into bouquets, ready to be picked up as the shoppers leave the market. A beautiful bouquet like those in this photo will cost only about $5. If you would like a full lunch or something more substantial than the snacks at the food trucks, there are a number of open-air cafes, just like this one, that line the borders of the town square, just steps away from the stalls and the food trucks. Here, shoppers can arrange to meet their friends for a lunch and a relaxing chat after shopping. If you just don't have time for a lunch or a chat, you can usually top off your shopping experience with a coffee or a cappuccino from a mobile vendor such as this one. And finally, if shopping is just not your thing, you can come to the market to sit and watch the happenings. The market provides a wonderful opportunity for inhabitants to get out of their small apartments, to relax, and to get some sun and fresh air. Well, folks, we have reached the end of our tour for today. We hope that this has been a welcome diversion from your daily routine, and that you have learned something interesting about European customs. Thank you.